told me a year ago that I'd be walking around on a random beach in Puerto Rico, going to a Bad Bunny concert, and just doing whatever I want on a random Tuesday, I would be in complete disbelief. But you see, this isn't just a vacation, me traveling to places. Like, as I record this, I'm literally in Waikiki, Hawaii with one of my close business friends, and we run the same business. And I'm 23 and I've gotten to travel the entire world this year. But just a year ago, I had basically never left my parents' house. I was sitting inside, grinding 24/7. And I'm not sharing this to flex, but I want to show you more on the inside of the business that allows me to live this life with time, location, and financial freedom. And you've probably seen some stuff like this before, but I'm going to give it to you straight. And I will be transparent up front. I do have a course and I do sell access to it down below, but it's not how I make the most of my money. You see, the reason I'm selling my course is I actually take a revenue share in everyone that works with me. So if you join my course and I make you 10K, I might make an extra 500 on the back end. So that's all that. You can go check it out later if you want to. But my journey started when I was 18 in my parents' basement. I used to flip Instagram accounts. I dropped out of college after my first year, and I went all in on making sports content and sports betting content. Slowly after that, I began branching into different industries, all within the sports space. Sports betting, something called daily fantasy sports. Many of you have probably heard of it. Apps like Underdog, apps like Prize Picks, where people pick, for example, Patrick Mahomes to have more than 200 pass yards, less than 200 pass yards, etc., and they put money on it, and if you win, you win. And I was able to take my sports content that I was posting for 5 years from age 18 to 23 and monetize this audience by partnering up with multiple of these different apps. Then, obviously, I built a team under me, video editors, analysts, assistants, began pumping out more content, higher quality, and got it all automated. It's at the point now where I actually use artificial intelligence to clone my voice on my Instagram pages, as you can see here. So if you go check out any of my content, it's not actually me even talking, but it's literally just, it is in my voice, but we use AI. We just type into the computer what we want it to say in my voice. It spits it out. My editor edits it and uploads it to my account. And I work less than 10 to maybe 15 hours a week on this company now, and it allows me to travel the world. And one of the biggest things I've learned over the last 6 months to a year, and I'm going to show you some stats on screen in a second, is living this type of lifestyle where I can literally fly over to Puerto Rico, go to a Bad Bunny concert, because why not? But more importantly, get content on it, because when I'm with people, when I'm at cool things, doing events, building my personal brand, I've found that I get significantly more sales. For example, I launched my coaching group and did multiple 5 figures in sales in a 6-day launch window. And I did that because of my lifestyle content. For example, who wants to buy from the kid that has sat in his parents' basement for 5 years? Yes, on paper, it sounds more logical, but you have to remember, people buy with emotion. So for example, me posting clips like the ones you're seeing on screen here, me going places and being able to record content like that has increased my retention significantly. For example, on the left, I'm going to show you guys now again a story drop off where I had 23,000 views on a story, and then the next story had 19,000 views, both posted within 5 minutes of each other, but 4,000 people dropped off, which is over 20% of my people dropped off because the background was just straight up black. Then you're going to see on this next slide, I use content of my lifestyle, me with people, me with friends, walking around, me in cool places. And you're going to see that the drop off is significantly less. It goes from about 12,000 to 11,500, which is barely a drop off at all. It's less than 5% versus a 20% from before. And that gigantic increase in retention, not only is it an increase in retention, but it's also just the interest level that each person has, the likelihood that someone actually clicks on a link, the likelihood that someone buys, subconsciously programming into their brain of what are you going to do next? And I think it's common sense almost, but sometimes you have to actually do it for yourself to see it. And that's something that has changed a lot in my business in the last year, and I've realized the importance of recording that type of content and what it does. You don't need fancy gear, you don't need huge budgets. I record everything on my phone and I just bring somebody with me. I probably should get a full-time videographer soon. I've thought about it multiple times, but just short, small clips that you can reuse in content, ads, and marketing is really valuable. But how I built my company, the one that allowed me to live this lifestyle, long story short, is I just post about sports. It's all I do. I literally just make sports content, promote apps like Underdog, promote my own communities where I built a large Discord with over 20,000 people. People join, they sign up for a service that I built, and they pay, say, $20, $50 a month for it. And we just deliver a really good product. So it's a build once, sell forever type of model. We don't have any upfront costs. I think that's a big thing. In other industries, that's very different, like drop shipping, SMMA, or anything else, like physical stores. I don't have crazy amounts of things that like I have expenses on. Like if I make $100, my business is typically keeping like 90, 95. The only thing we're paying for are a couple softwares, my employee costs, and they mostly work on profit share. And it allows me to live this crazy lifestyle that I always dreamed I'd be able to. Where, like I told you, I'm taking a random trip to Puerto Rico, capturing B-roll, and just using that content from a weekend where I spend a few $1,000s to make 5, 10, 15,000, and then also be able to reuse that in the long run. I think something very undervalued is having a good personal brand, meaning someone stumbles across your own personal Instagram page. And if you're well-traveled, you have high-quality images, whatever you sell, whatever you post to your story, people get intrigued more often, and it's common sense. And that leads to people being able to want to spend more money with you. Like, I've had multiple people actually reach out to me in my sports picks company and said, damn, your lifestyle is crazy on your personal account. It made me want to buy from you more, which I didn't even like comprehend until I'd say like 6 months ago, back in like March or something like that. And then I started to see it more and more and more. So long story short, I've had a crazy last year. I went from never leaving my parents' basement to moving out in January to now going on a bunch of trips, recording content, and having that content help explode my brand. So if you guys are interested in learning how to become a sports content creator and enable yourself to live the life that I lived, and also one of my best friends who I also taught this to is currently living with me in Hawaii for the next 2 months. I taught him A to Z how to do this. He's my biggest case study. If you want to learn, the link is down below. I'm not going to crazy hard sell you in many videos, but like I said, I also take a small revenue share in everyone I work with as well. So like, I make money, you make money. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this one. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments.